Howdy, y'all.
Hi, guys.
It's Ryan.
And Angela.
From the Brotherhood of Steel. No, really. We're from RNA Music, your mom and pop guitar shop and lesson studio deep in the heart of Texas.
That's where we're at.
That's where we're at. And if you're new to our channel, we are all about entertaining and educating the next generation of musicians.
Yes.
And the current generation of musicians.
Yes.
Of all ages.
All ages.
Today is an entertainment video because we're going to answer your questions.
Yeah.
Let's do this. First question, K Drake 777. I like that.
Yeah.
It says, I see the stack of ukuleles. What brand do you carry and why?
Why?
I should have got one of those boxes. You're talking about these boxes. This one has a little cute dolphin on it.
This one has a shark.
Oh God.
A shark. Hello, my name is Bruce.
Sharks terrify me.
Hello, Bruce.
We carry Kala ukuleles. No particular reason, I guess, other than they're kind of like the Fender of ukuleles. They're like the biggest company, I guess, that makes ukuleles.
As far as we know.
As far as I know, I'm pretty sure that they're like #1. They're like
it.
The guys.
Yeah.
And that's who we started with, I guess, a year ago?
Mm-hmm.
2 years? 1 year?
A year and a half, maybe?
Year and a half.
Yep.
Oh, put that over here.
Hello.
Oh, I just wanted to give you a hug. And we've been really pleased with them. Haven't had any issues. We've sold a fair few ukuleles.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, quite a few.
It's hard to keep them in stock, actually. So, yeah. So anything that Kala makes, we can get. If you want one, let us know. We'll hook you up with a Kala ukulele.
Yes, we
Really happy with them. She's the ukuleleist more so than I am. But
love them.
Yeah, they're great, man. I like them. Next question, Chivalry 218. Hi, Ryan and Angela. Hope all is well.
It is.
Pretty good. No complaints at the moment. That steak was really good. I'm a little stuffed now. When is Ryan's EP coming out? Also, did you guys have any tips for musicians who have difficulty with playing an instrument and singing at the same time?
Ooh, good question.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I've only been working on the EP for like 4 years. I noticed the other day, I was scrolling through all of our old YouTube videos and I had like a video announcement, working on my EP. I'm like, 4 years. So, yeah, I don't know. It gets put on the back burner a lot. It's not a high priority.
Yeah.
Although it really should be. I don't know what that was. So, I don't know. At the beginning of this year, I said by the end of this year. But we're halfway through 2018. I don't know. I need to crack on and just get it done.
Do it.
Just get it done. But
yes.
Thanks, man. Tips for musicians who have difficulty with playing an instrument and singing at the same time? Tips? Thoughts?
I would practice with songs that are pretty simple. Has a simple strumming pattern to simple lyric. Pattern to lyric ratio. So you're not singing a lot of words and trying to do difficult picking or strumming or anything like that, because then the counting, especially if the singing has a different time signature than the playing, and it just mess you up. So I would start with something very basic, even if it's a child song or something that's...
Happy birthday.
Yeah, something that's really simple, just so you can get used to it, or something... A Bob Marley song is a really good song because it's just like the words go with the tempo, you know. I think that's why a lot of times they recommend it for ukulele players. A Bob Marley song usually comes with every ukulele that you buy, and because a beginner ukuleleist can pretty much figure it out pretty easily. So I would start with something very simple and just go through the song little by little, and then work up to maybe the harder parts aspect of the song or a harder song. Yeah,
good tips. I'm going to add that you have to kind of think about it as...
It is a day for cars.
People are just peeling out around here. You have to kind of think about it as layers.
Yeah.
Like ogres, as layers, right?
Yeah, like onions.
That if you can figure out the rhythm of the lyric, right? And see how that lays over on top of, you know, your strum pattern or your piano pattern. I'm assuming this is mostly guitarists, strummers, right? So whatever your strumming pattern is, you know, take like the first line or the first 2 measures of the piece and see on what beats your strum patterns occur, and then do the words or the syllables fall on that beat as well, or are they in between the beats? So you just have to think of it as maybe as part of your strum pattern, and sometimes it lines up with your strums, or sometimes it's in between your strums.
Right.
As a drummer, you know, I'm kind of used to like doing, you know, you got your right hand doing one thing, left hand's doing one thing, foot's doing one thing. They're all doing separate things, but they're kind of all layered together doing one thing. So
either 1 and 2, or 2 and 3 and 4.
Like some things happen on the same beat, some things happening opposite of that beat.
Right.
You know, they're either happening together or they're happening separately.
Right.
So I would take it in real small chunks and see where that falls. Like, don't worry about the pitch. Like, are you on the right note? Just like in a monotone, what is the rhythm of the lyric? And can you make that rhythm line up with what your hands are doing? And I think it's a good idea, like Angela said, to start with something very simple first.
Yeah. Don't
try to be doing, you know, some crazy And Justice for All guitar playing and lining those rhythms up is a lot more challenging.
Yeah, Dream Theater or something.
Yeah,
crazy.
Starting with something very
I would start with something, you know, Otis Redding, you know, just like something from the 60s, 50s, something that has a real simple guitar part and pretty basic lyrics. So it works that way.
Great question, man. Hopefully that helps. Next question, Scott H. Question, have you ever played a fretless guitar or bass? My oldest daughter has played cello for years, and the muscle memory required to play well has always impressed me.
Oh, I can imagine so.
Angela wants a cello.
I do.
Maybe someday.
You would think, after all these years.
Yeah, okay. I have briefly played around with a fretless bass and a fretless guitar, actually. It's been a really long time since I worked at another big music store many years ago.
Yeah, they all know it.
I don't know. And I worked at Guitar Center a long time ago.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure I picked up a fretless bass and kind of messed around with it. I'm trying to remember if I played a fretless guitar. It vaguely seems like I did, but I don't remember. It's been a long time.
Right.
And I thought it was pretty neat, but it wasn't something like, oh man, I've got to buy one of these right away.
Right.
So yeah, it is a little bit different. I mean, you got to be right on with your finger placement because there's no frets to save you. So you need to be kind of right on the money with your intonation. So it is impressive.
Yeah. I have not ever played a fretless anything.
The bitter bass man used to play upright bass. That's what he learned on, actually, was an upright bass before he went to a real bass, electric bass. So he's definitely done it.
Yeah.
But not any time recently have I.
No.
But thanks for the question, Scott.
Yeah.
Next question, Paul B. This is my query. How did you two guitar mom and pops meet? Great question, Paul B.
Yeah.
How did we meet? Somebody asked us this morning when I was at the barber. Our barber asked us.
Your barber asked us when did y'all meet, or how did y'all meet? In college.
In college.
Yeah. I knew who he was before that, but we weren't introduced until a month or two into college or something like that.
I don't even remember.
It was something like that.
Was it a football game?
Yeah, it was at a football game, and I think we've answered this before, but yeah, it was at a football game. One of our mutual friends, I didn't really realize how well he knew her until the introduction, and then we talked, and I had a crush on him long before we were introduced. And at a football game, she did one of these, like, if you've ever watched How I Met Your Mother, is like, have you met my friend buddy Ted? And then he walks off, and it was basically that. She ambushed you. Have you met my friend Angela? And she just, or maybe met my friend Ryan, and she just left me there, like, okay. And that wasn't the first time she did that with me and him.
No, at the football game it was.
Yeah.
But we didn't talk very much there. She's like, hey, it's my friend Angela. Like, oh, hey.
Yeah, because I was like,
I was on the drum line.
Don't be awkward. Don't be awkward.
In the marching band. She was in the drill team.
Yes.
You know, so that was the first time we met, was at a football game.
Yep.
We were playing
Not too far from
Navarro
here.
College.
Yes, in Corsicana.
TVCC versus Navarro. I think we won. I don't know.
We probably
I don't
did.
remember.
I don't think we.
I was looking at you the
Navarro
rest of the
had
game.
much game back then. But yeah, and that's how we met.
Mm-hmm.
And I was already dating somebody at the time.
Loser.
And then
Loser.
a few months later, we broke up. And then she was like, oh, I guess she thought this is my chance. And then at a basketball game, she was going to take me home after the game because we performed at the halftime at basketball games in college. And after the halftime performance, she was like, hey, I'll take you home. I was like, okay. She was like, but let's go by the band hall first. I was like, okay, sure, why not? We go inside the band hall, and he's in the hallway because he was
I was the building monitor for the music building at the college.
Yes.
That was my after-school job.
So he was sitting at a desk in the hallway, and we go down this hallway, and it wasn't a very long hallway, but
No.
you know, because it's not a very big school. And I was like, are you kidding me? Oh my gosh. And then we have this conversation. I don't remember what it was about, but at the end she was like, hey, Ryan, do you mind taking Angela home? And I'm like, oh, you stinking. Oh, you were like, I don't mind if you don't mind. I mean,
like,
I'll be here
oh,
for a few minutes. And I
okay.
was like, okay, yeah, no, I don't mind. You know, yeah, I'll get in the car with a perfect stranger, whatever.
I've never
You
met
know?
this guy I've had a crush on secretly from a distance.
He seems
He could
okay.
be a psycho. Who knows?
I've dated worse.
You certainly have.
I did. I had bad taste in guys. And so he did. He took me home, and then I think you asked if you can have my number or something just in case it happened again or something like that.
I don't remember.
I was like, yeah, sure, you know. And then we started dating after that, like a couple weeks after that.
Yeah, and we talked on the phone a few times. And
Oh,
then,
yeah, for hours and hours and hours.
Well, I was working at the music building because I was sitting up there. I would work from like 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. Watching the building to make sure the music students who came up to practice at night, you know, basically that no one destroyed the building or school property.
No vandalism.
Nobody ever came to practice. So all you guys who are, I can't find the time to practice,
Oh,
you know,
yes.
guitar because I'm busy with my life. It's like music majors in college who that's their thing.
Yeah.
Mostly the time didn't come up in practice either. So,
Right.
you know, musicians are always trying to find
A ways
time
not
to practice.
to.
So I was sitting up there most of the time just by myself in this music building. And so like I'd go in the piano lab and because that was the only phone was in the piano lab, and I would call her, hey, what are you doing? How's it going?
I'm like, where are you? I'm in the music
I'm at the
lab.
music building. Want to hear some piano?
I'm like, yeah. And he played Moonlight Sonata for me. And I'm like, oh my gosh, someone's ever played
He's so talented.
piano for me. Most of my boyfriends are potheads.
What? Jocks.
Yeah. It was Athens. So, yeah, that's how we met.
Yeah. Mutual friend. A friend I had from high school when she went to school there, joined the drill team. She was on the drill team. Completely different schools. They became friends. And
Yeah.
she knew I was amazing, so
Yeah.
she's like, I have this great guy you should
Yeah.
go.
You should dump your horrible
Your
boyfriend.
piece of crap boyfriend.
Because I have this really great guy that you should date. And I was like, well, you know, I'm in love. Yeah, she said,
Sorry, we had to pause it for a
Yeah.
second. Some dude keeps driving past the front door with a riding
all
lawnmower.
day long with
Like
a
he can't walk.
riding lawnmower.
He's got to just ride this mower.
It's Texas. Anyway, she was like, you really need to dump your loser boyfriend and go out with my really great friend. And I was like, okay.
And the rest is history.
And the rest is history.
Thanks, Charlotte.
Yep. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm really happy.
Yeah.
Thank you. She probably doesn't watch her videos. But
You never
that's all
know.
right. Next question, William Olson. Why don't guitar manufacturers just figure out a way to give you a small amount of guitars, like on a consignment type thing? Just make sure you have the appropriate insurance to cover losses.
Okay. That's another question right there.
You know, I don't know why they don't do that. Other than for most guitar manufacturers, I'm sure they've tried it before, and trying to collect money from dealers, because I get this. I have companies that I work with are like, oh, let me tell you a story. We had this one store down in wherever, and that guy ordered, you know, $6,000 worth of crap and then didn't pay us for it. And then waited, like it took like, you know, 3 years to get the money from the guy. And even then, you know, so most of the time they've dealt with issues with like you know, getting money from dealers. A lot of times dealers, you can order stuff, what we call on terms. It's like 30, 60, 90-day terms. So basically, it's like credit. It's like having a line of credit. You know, you get whatever the product in, you've got 30 days to pay for it. Now, hopefully you sell it before that 30 days is over, and then you can pay the company, you know, dealer costs for the stuff. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes stuff sits around, and then company's like, hey, you know, you got that $10,000 worth of stuff, we need to check. And you're like, I haven't sold anything.
Sorry.
Oh, man. You know, they don't, you know, you got to pay. And so I think companies are in business to make money as well. And they've probably been burned enough times that they don't want to take a chance on that happening. And they're out money and out product, and they're just screwed.
Yeah.
Now, I have had a few companies, having said that, I have had a couple of companies do something similar like that with us. Now, that's after they had followed us, they've seen what we do, watch our YouTube channel, talk to us. We have mutual friends, and they're like, all right, hey, this guy and this lady, they seem really nice, they seem legit, and maybe we could work out a deal. And, you know, and we did. So I've had 2 smaller companies do something like that with us, and everything went fine, you know, no problems, nothing bad happened. But, you know, they're not going to do that with every store out there,
right?
You know, because not every store is gonna it's gonna work out. You run into those problems where they're like, well, we got all your guitars, but we're not gonna pay for it.
Right.
So that's a risk for the company, and you know, I don't necessarily blame them. So now I will say we have had a couple of companies do some nice things for us. There was created a win-win situation. I'll just say, you know, Acacia was one of the companies that worked with us. We did a deal. They allowed me to have some products. You know, we did some exposure. We did some things. But then we sold product. We sold the stuff, and we got some sales from it. And it was mutually beneficial, and it worked out. We had a deal like that with Heritage, honestly. They saw that we do a lot of social media, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. And they said, hey, we don't have a dealer in your area. How would... You know, they wanted us to buy a certain amount of guitars. I'm like, I can't do that, guys. I would love to, but all my money's tied up on a wall, and we already, you know, did another deal with another company that things really went sideways for us financially, and I'm not going to take the risk, because we've been burned. When we've been burned by companies. You know, companies are worried about being burned by dealers. We've been burned by companies. So we're a little gun shy about investing a crap load of money. And they approached me like, hey, well, what if we did this? You know, we get some guitars in, do some videos, do some things. You know, you've got a certain amount of time to sell them. If you don't, send them back. If you do, great, whatever. And that went well. Now, we didn't sell any in the allotted time, because I don't think our demographic out here, that's what was really working for us. And so we ended up sending the guitars back. No hard feelings. Not a problem. Nothing negative to say about Heritage. And my sales rep for them, John, was phenomenal. And
He's a great guy.
Yeah. So these are smaller companies. It's not like the bigger companies, you know. So it's a risk for them, and not every dealer is a good dealer, and is going to do things that are in the benefit of the company. So that's the long answer, I guess. But thanks for the question.
Yeah, that's good.
Next question. Just Fun Guitar said, I might get some Ironwork Sharks at some point. Have you come across those before? I have not come across those. And the fact that it says Sharks, that freaks me out. I am
no touchy.
Very scared of sharks. So
I think
I have a problem with the ukuleles that we have. We have ukuleles with little sharks as the bridge. And
alligators are more understandable to be frightened of than sharks, because we're nowhere near a shark, like nowhere near a shark. Yeah. But we are always around alligators.
We're not
they
always
can literally
alligators.
come out from the sewer system, the drainage, and come out into your yard here, like literally.
I have never seen an alligator in person in the wild.
Oh,
I think at a zoo, but I've never like come across one out in the pasture.
Oh no,
or by the lake
in your front yard. We did, as a kid.
In Athens.
We had a lake, and it was maybe a mile away and they still came up to our yard.
Well, if
and they would sit because they wanted to eat our dogs.
If I had seen that, I would maybe be a little worried about it. But
yeah, you would.
Anyways, I don't like sharks. And I'm not familiar with those actually at all. So I'm assuming those are pickups. I'm assuming that's a pickup of some kind. I'll have to check into it. If any of you guys out there, or ladies, have experience with Ironwork Sharks, why don't you leave us a comment below, educate me on it. I'll have to go check it out. So yeah. Thanks for the question, Just Fun Guitar. Appreciate it, man. Is this it? Final question?
Yeah.
Final question.
That's 3 questions.
Divided by time. Couple questions. If you buy into a guitar brand and say you bought 12 but only sold 6, technically you own those guitars, right? You bought them all up front, so you could sell the other 6 for whatever price you wanted. Question mark. Number 2, I played my Mesa 1x12 with a drummer. My amp kind of sounded flabby. Is that because it's open back or because it's one speaker? Do I need a cab? Greenbacks and a Mesa cab. Wonder why you don't see it very often. So probably, I mean, I think you'd get a tighter sound if you had not an open back. But it's also probably you're using one speaker. If you can get away with a 2x12, a 2x12 always sounds better than a combo or a 1x12. Matter of fact, I used to run my Fender Super Champ that I play. I would disconnect the internal speaker and I would plug it into a 2x12 and it sounded fantastic. So closed back 2x12. So if you can, here's just what you do. If you got a buddy who's got a 4x12 or a 2x12, see if you can run it into theirs, see what you think. Borrow somebody's cab for the weekend. Close friend. Because most of the time, guitar players, we don't like to loan out our stuff. But
right.
Let's see. If I did a brand, well, he had a good question there. It says, you bought them all up front. You could sell the other 6 whatever price you wanted. I could do that. But there are some rules in play with that. Now, when you order, that's a great example. Like one of the companies we first started with, I had to order 12 guitars. And so I ordered 12 guitars. Boom. I'm a dealer. Good. Now, I am free at that point to sell all 12 of them for whatever price I want. If someone comes in the store and they want to buy the guitar and I want to sell it for less than I paid for it and lose money, I can do that. There are rules about your advertised price. We talk about the minimum advertised price. A lot of you guys hear about MAP. What is the MAP price? In a short, semi-short answer, that's you're limited to what you can advertise publicly the price. Like, try to think, what's a good example? So we got a Schecter that the retail is, what is it? $349. Recommended retail price $349. MAP price $249. So what that means is on our Facebook, on our website, if I had a, on our Reverb store, I do have a Reverb store. Any in public stuff, I have to list it. The lowest price I can list it is that MAP price, minimum advertised price. And that is supposed to help dealers keep the playing field level. If a big time dealer who's selling them and just making like $10 off the deal and way undercutting everyone, that sort of sucks, right? And so the minimum advertised price is supposed to keep it fair for everybody. So you don't have a big conglomerate who's making very small profit margins.
Can buy the freight truck and
move them that
like
fast.
A Walmart type pricer.
Walmart or Guitar Center or whatever. So keeping it at that minimum advertised price. Now I can sell it for whatever I want. Because if you come in the shop and go, I know it says $249, would you take $200 for it? And I could either say, yeah, or I go, no, man, are you crazy? I can't do that. I can't lose money on it unless I want to.
Right.
So I can absolutely sell any guitar that I have for whatever I want. Now, if I violate the MAP policy, the problem with that is if the manufacturer sees that, they can go, oh, okay, well, you're not a dealer anymore. So if I want to re-up, like, okay, I've already sold these 12, I need to order some more. And they're like, well, we noticed you sold a bunch of these below MAP and you were advertising it out everywhere. So no, you're not a dealer anymore. They can give you the boot as a dealer. So, you're always free to sell it at whatever you want. You just can't add, there's rules about what the price you can advertise for. Now, some stores completely get around that by sending out emails. You sign up to their email list And then they send out private emails to you guys and with crazy deals and slashes and markdowns. And they're actually violating MAP policy by doing that. But that's their kind of sneak away around of doing that. So unless, you know, an employee of the company gets those emails and sees that they're doing it, you know, I mean, companies are always trying to violate MAP policy and
all the time.
Screw other dealers because who cares? It's all about making money for me. Screw those guys over there. You know.
Unlike us, make that clear.
Unlike us, no, we don't do that. So I don't. We try to keep everything up and up. We've never violated a MAP policy from any of the companies we've ever carried.
Yeah. We've
never done that.
Because we believe what goes around comes around.
It does. It certainly do. And I have friends at other stores who are super cool. And we try to help each other and not destroy each other online, believe it or not. So, great question. I hope that answered it. I think it did.
Yeah. Did you get that?
And greenbacks in a Mesa cab, wonder why you don't see it very often? I have no idea. It probably doesn't sound as good as vintage 30s. I'm sure someone's probably tried it and probably didn't get the result they were hoping for.
Yep.
So, maybe so. All right. Is that it?
That's it.
I think that's it.
Yep.
That's all the questions for today. So excited. All right. So thank you guys so much for all your questions. If you have a question for next week, please leave it below and we will try to answer it. If you're interested in a Brotherhood of Steel t-shirt, you cannot get that from us.
Maybe.
No, you can't. We can't. This is Bethesda Game Studios.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I can't sell you this. But if you do want an RNA music shirt of some kind, go check out our Teespring store in the description below. Get you an RNA music shirt. We've been selling quite a few of those. Some of you people have bought 3, 4, 5, 6 of those.
We are so thankful.
Thank you so much. That's amazing.
Thank you.
That is amazing. And
you guys rock.
Send us the pictures. I'll try to put them at the end of the video. But, you know, send it to us on Facebook or, you know, email or whatever.
Instagram
it. You can't send pictures on Instagram.
But you
can't save them from Instagram. I have to screenshot it. Screenshot it. Yeah. All right. Thank you guys so much. Until next week, keep the music alive.
Don't forget it.
Music needs you.
And you need the music.
Yeah. And we need it. And we need to keep it alive for this next generation and this current generation, right? Yes. There's a lot of people who are
in the middle of... Yeah.
Like me. And we're going to keep it alive for everyone. Everyone who's starting their musical journey. Let's be positive and encouraging. Yes. Always try to do that.
Yes.
Don't be an a-hole.
Love one another.
Yeah. Encourage
Spread
each other.
the love and the encouragement. And come on, guys.
Yeah. I appreciate all of our viewers. All of our viewers are pretty much...
Y'all are awesome.
Very cool, very nice, very encouraging. And I see them on other videos leaving comments. I'm like, I know them.
Yeah, we know
and
you
they're
guys.
being cool over here too. Check that out.
That's awesome.
Cool people. So, and we'll see you guys next time. Stay tuned for more videos. We got vlogs coming. We got lessons. We got all kinds of stuff coming.
All kinds.
We will see y'all then. Subscribe. We'll see y'all later.